Hello, very good evening to you. Welcome to Newscope, an NTA channel 12. Your Newscope is a magazine program put together to inform you, educate you, and put you in the right frame of mind for the week ahead. Happy Father's Day. I could not have forgotten that. Happy Father's Day to all our amazing fathers. I'm so excited that finally we now have Father's Day, so the men will not accuse us of always having Mother's Day, Women's Day, and nothing for them. Finally, here is Father's Day. And on Newscope this Sunday evening, we are going to be celebrating the fathers in a very special way. We have some stories lined up. Who's a father? What makes one a father? Is it just because you have children? Why are you called a father, and what can we do to improve the fatherhood experience? And in furtherance of that discussion, we'll be playing host to a father in the house. He's already in the house, and in the course of the program you'll get to meet him. He is Pastor Adedoyin Tologbonshe, the zonal pastor of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, House of Glory here in New York. All right, he's going to be talking to us generally about fatherhood and what makes a good father. So I'm urging all the men, all the fathers to sit back, relax. This Sunday especially is for you, and hope that your family members have done something special for you to celebrate Father's Day. All right, we're also going to be looking at underage driving and recklessness on the road. Why do you allow children who are underage to drive your cars? What are the dangers that they pose when you allow them to drive your cars on the streets? We'll also consider that on the program. And then, of course, there's this thing that we grew up with, eating your proteins after your meal. Not before, not during the meal, but after your meal. Is that culture still there? Are our children imbibing that culture of eating their proteins before or after the meal? Or is it something that died with our age? You get to find out in the course of the program. All of these and more in the package for you this Sunday evening, but especially we're celebrating fathers. So sit back, relax, and enjoy our offering this Sunday evening. My name is Adid Yomiba. As always, Clement Baraku is here, and he'll be taking the date news, and after that, Newscope will continue. Once again, thank you for joining us. Good evening.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on the news segment of Newscope. Congratulations to all the fathers out there. Happy Father's Day. My name is Clement Barikui, and here are the stories we have for you this time. Christian fathers in Oyo joined their counterparts the world over to celebrate this year's Father's Day, where clerics emphasized the importance of fathers taking care of themselves and their families. John Paul alumna captured the mood of the celebration in some churches in Oyo.
The atmosphere was that of celebration in most churches in Uyo, as fathers were celebrated by their children and the entire congregation. The 2025 Father's Day messages were the same, as Christian clerics urged the fathers to continue to play leading roles in their families and be good examples to the younger generation.
So we are looking at men as leaders, leading their families to God, leading their children to God. Whatever they want their children to become, they are the first assignment that they must begin from them, and thereby the world to follow them suit.
The critical role of God is that we should help humanity and creation. So no father should be selfish. No father should only concentrate. I keep telling, if you have finished raising of your children, there are still children we can support. Those in the motherless babies, let's not forget them. We can extend scholarships to such children.
If the father is not there, a lot of things will go wrong. The father is the priest of the home. The father is the one that upholds the moral standard of the home. And therefore, every father is expected first to be close to God so that he can now be able to impart godliness to the children.
They should try their best to maintain that position, that they should try their best to take care of his family, that they should try their best and live up to God's expectation.
Others admitted that the enormous works on the fathers can be overwhelming, but they should continue to take responsibility for the sake of posterity.
So if you are a God, there is a God Almighty. So that means you become that God that they look up to, and then you provide, you see vision for the family.
Thank God that Akwa Ibom State is still a state of peace. Still enjoying the status of being about the most peaceful state in the country. These are the things that only God can do. It's not because of our carefulness, it's not because of our righteousness or faithfulness. It's just God has chosen to favor us with all that. So we have reason.
When you show love in every ramification, your children will emulate. Gone are the days that men were said to be violent to their wives. But nowadays, we, the modern fathers, we are preaching that you love your family.
To look up unto God, because God is the ultimate. Without God, the Bible says, it's not him that willeth, nor him that runneth, but it is the Lord that showeth mercy. When you are a youth, when you are a young man, a young girl, all what you need to do is to look up to God.
Some worshippers wish fathers well on their day.
Today, I want to wish all the very amazing fathers out there a very beautiful outing, a very lovely Father's Day. That God will continue to bless them. God will continue to help them.
So happy as a father to be alive, not just being alive and healthy, to celebrate Father's Day 2025.
The services featured choir renditions by the Men Fellowship of various churches in Uyo, John Paul Alumon, NTN News.
And still talking Father's Day. Every year, fathers around the globe are celebrated for various roles and contributions to society. But beyond the nomenclature and the day's observance, every June there are concerns on who a father is and the roles they play in families. This is probably not unconnected with an increasing degradation of societal values and norms attributed largely to the absence or the near absence of the father. Etieno Ibanga hit the street to find answers on the place of the father in the society.
A father is somebody that takes care of you, that provides, understands, and makes sure everything is fine in the family.
A father is a man who owns a family.
That when we are talking about a father, is a complete human being, a complete man. A man whose responsibility is to take care of his own children.
Different meaning of fathers from a cross-section of the people sets the tone. While some see a father as a man in relation to his child or children, others view fathers as providers who are responsible for the total care of their families.
They are a father that did not even care about their children. So that kind of a man should not be celebrated. We are celebrated a man who have integrity.
For another school of thought, fathers are promoters of peace, progress, and societal values with capacities to inculcate discipline even amongst non-biological children.
Parenting is the role of two people, the father and the mother. And each of them has a specific role to play to make the family stand on a balance. There is no one that will be able to keep the family without the other.
Beyond different expressions of a father, the Father's Day, celebrated on the third Sunday of June every year, is an opportunity to honor this category of men. It's a day to show appreciation for the love, support and guidance that fathers provide. The theme for the Father's Day 2025, Fathers, Nurturing Resilience and Shaping Futures, highlights the significant impact fathers have on their children's development and well-being. But observers are worried about the growing concern of the father or the father figure in the life of the family units or society at large. What are possible reasons?
Marrying to satisfy social expectation has been very predominant. People do not actually know what marriage is. And the worst thing is that these days people gauge marriage on the financial scale.
The Lord will bless fathers to be righteous and godly in an ungodly world.
As Christians and Nigerians celebrate Father's Day 2025, there's a clarion call to allow a moment for all and sundry to appreciate the fathers, father figures and paternal influences in our lives. These individuals, they affirm, play a vital role in shaping lives and futures, and their contributions deserve recognition. In Uyo, Etienne Ibanga, NTN News.
All right, thank you so much, Etienne, for that beautiful report. We are still celebrating fathers today. And of course, this is just once in a year, so we have every reason to dedicate much of our time, to celebrate our fathers. After all, the mothers and the women had almost 5 days within the year, so this is just one in the year. And then talking about Father's Day celebration, I have with me right here in the studio the zonal pastor of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, House of Glory. I'm talking about Pastor Adedoye John Tologboshe, who is here to talk more about fathers and who a father is. Happy Father's Day, Pastor.
Thank you, and God bless.
Good to see you. Good to have you in the studios.
Thank you.
All right, so let's look at how do you feel being celebrated today as a father?
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure. Audience and viewer all over, good evening. I feel greatly delighted to have the singular honor to be celebrated as a father, especially every 15 June, which happens this year to fall into the Father Day of celebration. By the way, I'm also born in the month of June.
Wow.
So it's a double honor.
Yeah, it's double celebration.
Yeah, double celebration. I woke up this morning with a beautiful gift. By that I mean my wife just took to the stage and said, Happy Father's Day. And she made a big surprise with a beautiful gift. Having said that, who is a father? A father is a mature man. Of course, a husband with a dignified family. It's from the beginning, if I may reflect back to the story of creation, God created man as a father. And so that's the genesis of fatherhood. So in a nutshell, a father is a male that takes up the responsibility of nurturing, protection, and showing emotional support to the younger one, the children. And so a father can also be a caregiver. So it's all encompassing.
All right. Okay, yes. Today has been a great day for not just you, but all the fathers. I'm sure the same way you've also you received a surprise gift from your wife. It's the same way other fathers might have also received surprise gifts. So I want to say congratulations on that.
Thank
and you're talking about the role of fathers. Can you tell us more? Because today many people are blaming the kind of children, the kind of youth that we are having in our society today on the family. And many are saying maybe the parents, particularly the fathers, are not doing what they're supposed to do. So let's look at the role of the fathers, particularly in shaping, children's life.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me still go back to my definition of who a father is. Take note that we have biological father, and we also have spiritual father. We also have father in different sphere of life. And so they are there to guide, they are there to nurture, they are there to train, they are there to discipline, they are there to give direction to the children. So whatever level you find yourself as a father, maybe in the society, in your home, in the school, in the church, anywhere, you have a cardinal role to play. Number one, you are there to guide. We must guide our ward, our younger one, our children into the pathway of life so that they can end well and take the right step at every time. So if we are not there to guide, the children may find themselves failing. Not only that, we are there to teach. One of the cardinal roles of a father is to teach. Teaching in all aspects, spiritual, academics, emotional, etc. So we are there to teach. Teach them, first and foremost, the way of the Lord. Teach them the pathway for them to profit. Teach them the do's and the don'ts. Teach them the doctrine of life. Of course, this you can find in the Holy Bible. So we have other roles to support. These children are coming up in life, and if you allow them to fend for themselves, they may miss it. And sometimes they meet and mingle with bad peer group out there. But a father is there to provide. So I mean, if I may ask, do you care to pay your children school fees, or do you allow them to pay for themselves? And that is why you see these students, they want to outsmart themselves in society. And of course, it will lead to evil vices. So as a father, you have the responsibility to take charge financially. And that's why I say father must have three muscles. You must have three muscles. Number one, the physical muscle is there for protection. The spiritual muscle is there for you to pray and to lead your family aright so that they can be a blessing to yourself, to your family, and to the society at large. Then you need this financial muscle. So fatherhood is a responsibility.
Okay.
You see it as a responsibility.
Okay, yes. Pastor, before you continue, let me just come in there. We've also seen that there are children that despite the presence of the father, they still go astray. We still have people that even when the father is there, they still go astray. Does it mean that these muscles that you've talked about, the father is not able to exercise it? Or even in some cases where we see fathers exercising these muscles that you've talked about, yet the child or the children will not still follow the path that the father has laid.
Okay, thank you very much. I will quickly want to say that the responsibility of training and nurturing children does not lie on the direct father alone. By direct father, maybe the biological father. So this is a family setup, a husband and a wife and children. It also lies on the society, and especially in this current age, that is where many fathers are failing. Many fathers, not necessarily biological father, even the father out there, the stepfather, the school father, the spiritual father, because most of the times, and even the biological father too, there are a lot of stories and examples that abound. Now, let me give you one. I don't want to mention any school. There is this case of a child that the teacher is just trying to correct in the school, and in the process, for the fact that maybe the upbringing of this child is all this, butter lifestyle, and just petting, and a child facing the teacher and say, I will report you to my father, and he just walk away. And the next day, the father came to beat up the teacher. So who do you blame? You know, when you see the father coming, then beating up the teacher, who do you blame? So the teacher has a role to play. You out there, wherever you find yourself, in the society, in the environment, any child you see, you are supposed to be a father to that child, to mentor that child, to help the child, and to show in the pathway to profit in life.
All right. So that means in summary, you're telling us, fatherhood is a collective responsibility.
Exactly. It's a collective.
Okay. So yes, Pastor, you are a father, and I know that in this journey of fatherhood, you must have also faced some challenges. Let's just briefly look at some of those common challenges that fathers are facing today.
Yeah, a lot of challenges abound. Like I told you, 3 core areas, and if you fail in any of those 3 core areas, it becomes a challenge. Many father faces a challenge financially. That is why the family must work together as a team. In a situation whereby the father is not able to meet up with the financial responsibility of a family, and the wife can be there to support, to step in. And such a father should not kind of shy away to carry the wife or even friends, so to say, along. So if you cannot, maybe we don't pray for that. A father that loses a job, a source of livelihood, it can be so much challenging, and you have a lot of bills to pay. So it needs for collective. That is why in the days of our forefathers, so to say, in the traditional African setup, the extended families are there, so you don't shy away, and you can call your friend out there, your uncle and what have you. You can come in, because that can be a major challenge if you just hide, and before you know, the children can be a dropout, not being able to provide for your household. Like the Bible says, you'll be worse than an infidel. So every father must strive to have a good means of livelihood.
Okay. Yes, you've talked about the family support and then the wife support, particularly when it has to do with finance. Let's briefly also, look at society. What about the society? How can the society, support fathers in a time like this, apart from the issue of having family support, home-based support?
Okay. Well, the society should be kind. Let me use that, and let me draw strength from that term. Should be kind. I read of a story of a keke man that went out early in the morning to a filling station with just 1,000 naira that he was left with in the pocket, and he managed to dodge out of the home without provision for the family. And the wife called him right there in the filling station, and the other gentleman, they just met coincidentally in the filling station, heard their conversation, and the man was trying to tell the wife, please be patient, this 1,000 I've told you, let me buy fuel, and quickly I will do business and I will now transfer to you. That gentleman immediately stepped in, and he told the lady at the station, please fill the tank of this man. And the man was surprised. He lied down, there's a fill, and also give me the account of your wife. And he made some trouble. We can be kind to his. It may look strange, but these are things I'll call. Okay. Like in school, fathers that are well-to-do can also take the responsibility of paying. Like in PTA, we have seen PTA and the support and scholarship and giving support here and there. Not only that, even the churches, we can also come into play. We give gifts, like the corporate social responsibility. We can incorporate it, and reaching out to families that are less privileged, not because the father is, ideal, but the means of livelihood is not sufficient. So we can be our brother's keeper by joining hands to build a better society.
All right, joining hands to build a better, society, and that's coming from our guests in the studios. But before we let you go, time is not our side. What is your message to your fellow fathers out there?
To my fellow father out there, I want to say times are quite challenging, but this is the time to be faithful. Be faithful to your spouse. Be faithful to your children. Be there to protect. Be there to nurture. Be there to give them a sense of direction. Be there to stand at him as the last man, a father. Don't allow your family, your children to be behind. Be in the forefront. Be a shining light. And a city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden. Every father out there, try and be a shining light. Be hardworking. Be diligent. And be prayerful. And I want to tell you that in a matter of time, all will be well. Because the scripture cannot be broken. Isaiah 3:10 says, tell the righteous, a righteous father, I want to tell you out there that notwithstanding your present situation, your present challenge, if you put your trust and confidence in God, all will be well. Don't give up. It's never too late. We can make it.
All right. Don't give up. It's never too late. We can make it. And on that, note, we wrap up this particular segment where we were talking about the fathers and fatherhood. Generally, handling this has been Pastor Adedoye John Toluboshi, Zonal Pastor of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, House of Glory here in Oyo. Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Pastor, for coming.
It's my pleasure.
We also hope to be seeing you more often and often, to share, some of these wise, counsel with us.
Thank you, and God bless you.
All right, thank you. And so we will continue with the rest of our stories. We are done with celebrating our fathers, but the celebration continues at our various homes. Stakeholders of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Akwa Ibom State, are assuring Governor Umueno of their support and solidarity in Akwa Ibom project. Kevin Samuel, we interacted with some party faithful, report that many persons are resigning from the PDP to APC since the defection of the governor. The reports.
It is no longer news that the governor of Akwa Ibom State and many of his appointees and other state actors have moved from the People's Democratic Party to the ruling All Progressives Congress. This mass movement of the governor's supporters is trickling down to the wards and units across Akwa Ibom State, with different stakeholders meeting their people for political alignments. The question here is, how ready is Akwa Ibom State APC to receive and absorb this number of people without any crisis?
Everybody is going to be carried along. Everybody will be the harmonization process, the integration process. It would take some time, but eventually, it's a normal thing. It's a normal. So no need to get hyper. No need to get very alarmed. No need to worry.
There's no way you will have the numbers of members that we are currently having now in Akwa Ibom State under the APC family where you will not have one or two misunderstanding. Of course, we equally have a mechanism in our party, in our constitution, to resolve every issues that, if at all there will be any, that will rise.
You don't like other parties. You join APC today, you have all the privileges, all the rights, as someone that joined 10 years or so ago. So just come in, there will no cause for alarm.
With the All Progressive Congress now in charge of the state affairs, the people are looking forward to the possible economic benefits from the center. In Uyo, Kevin Samuel, NTA News.
And so it has been on this segment of Newscope. The program will continue with the Didion Iba after this break. I remain Clement Barikui. Enjoy the rest of your night. Happy Father's Day once again.
We are located at number 1 Julius Pageant. Rose Bay Hotel. Come, feel the luxury of our contemporary hotel We offer lodging and accommodation. Stay at our deluxe executive and luxury suite for your comfort. Experience extravagant dining and delicious meals by expert chef. Lounge at our exquisite VIP bar. Enjoy 24 hours power supply with free Wi-Fi services. Our security system is top-notch to ensure your safety. Ample parking space and laundry services available. The ambience is serene to make your stay memorable. We are located at number 1 Julius Badge Road off House of Assembly Avenue, Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. For reservations, call 070-650-41139. Roseville Hotel, hospitality at its best.
At NTA Television College Jos, you will dive into exhilarating hands that will fuel your passion in education and propel your career to new heights. We don't just teach, we craft the next generation of media leaders. Explore our diverse offering, understanding the personnel matters and issues in the public service, basic development communication, financial reporting under IPSAS, and interpretation of public sector accounting standard IPSAS, audit, internal check and control management, video camera maintenance, new technologies, optics, fiber, IP technologies, automation, storage management, and wireless technology. Challenges and opportunities in the secretarial profession in the digital age. Digital marketing, basic drama, online reporting, understanding the provisions of the revised public service, audio engineering operations and maintenance, camera operations, and intermediate drama. Mark your calendar. The second quarter of 2025 is your launch pad. This is your moment to seize the future. Announcer Management.
All right, thank you for still staying tuned. Leadership of the Nigerian Labour and Trade Union Congress have told the global community that the reduction of the review period of the new minimum wage in Nigeria from 5 to 3 years is a major leap for Nigerian workers. The union said the move, coupled with the negotiated increase of the minimum wage from 30,000 to 70,000 naira, represents a significant achievement of the Tinubu administration. Ignatius Nkwo has the reports.
After days of engagement and exchange of experiences at the 2025 International Labour Organization Conference in Geneva, Switzerland, Workers' Union from Nigeria, led by the President of Nigerian Labour Congress, Joe Ajero, described the amendment of the review of the national minimum wage from 5 to 3 years as a marvelous bargaining feat and a reflection of the strength of collective negotiation.
We now have 70,000 naira minimum wage on 3 years review period. Even the 3 years review period, it is more advantageous.
But it's our responsibility to push to see to the 100% implementation, so that when we get to 2027, we will not have any state that have not implemented the minimum wage.
The workers' unions acknowledged that the major challenge now lies in tackling inflation, which could undermine the purchasing power of workers. They informed the world that the federal government added a human face to the minimum wage process by providing a wage which served as a timely stopgap intervention.
Now the question is that, can we change the inflationary trend so that whether it will be constant, so that we can now say that this our 70,000 is useful to us.
The union leaders stressed the need for adequate provision and implementation of compressed natural gas, describing it as a vital cushion to complement the wage increase. The union maintained that such infrastructure will help ease transportation costs and reduce economic pressure on workers.
Both union leaders call on member nations of the ILO to ensure full implementation of all resolutions reached by the International Labour Organization. They also called on owners of media organizations in Nigeria to ensure adequate and prompt payment of their workers' salaries so as to enable them practice like their foreign counterparts. From Geneva, Switzerland, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, as Nigerians take stock of the country's democratic journey, some workers have commended the federal government for commencing the payment of the outstanding wage awards and say they are hopeful that all pending arrears will be settled very soon. A cross-section of federal employees say there is need for more economic-friendly policies for workers who are currently groaning under the weight of heavy taxations. Omo Basilet has the report.
The non-payment of promotion arrears, heavy taxation, non-implementation of the new minimum wage, as well as the arrears of the wage award are some of the concerns raised by some federal workers. For them, it has become even more worrisome with harsh economic realities, noting that their counterparts in the state civil service enjoy better welfare packages despite shopping from the same markets.
The issue with government is that you enter into an agreement with them, and at the end of the day, they will not honor. To tell you that federal workers are being heavily taxed, that's really been a hell for federal workers to say. I am one of them. I am speaking the minds of federal workers.
They have not implemented anyone at all. Even the one of wage award, we only received 1 month after they paid. I think they stopped at last year, so they just paid 1 month arrears. Since then the minimum wage, we have not received anything at all. All arrears and entitlement that belongs to staff should be paid on time. So that's what they should do.
While the workers are still optimistic, they say there's need for the federal government to keep to its own part of the agreement in order to enhance productivity.
The promotion arrears of 2-3 years ago, it has not been paid. So it's also affecting the performance of the staff. We are using this opportunity to also speak with tell the president to please help us sort out those areas and those issues so that we can perform well.
We don't know the day, we don't know the month, and I believe they will give us.
We feel that the federal government is trying, but they need to do more.
President Bola Tinubu had signed the new minimum wage into law in July 2024, and 1 year after, workers say it is yet to be fully implemented. In Uyo, Umar Basedet, NTA News.
And still talking democracy, as Nigeria on June 12 marks 26 years of uninterrupted democracy, this milestone, viewed by a cross-section of Nigerians as the longest spell of civilian rule experienced in the country, is worth celebrating. Danny Milkoin reports that Nigerians anticipate more dividends in the coming years.
Since returning to civilian rule in May 1999, Nigeria is celebrating 26 years of uninterrupted democracy, with the national and state assemblies and the judiciary playing their roles independently. With earlier republics enjoying only brief spells, dented with military coups and counter-coups, Nigerians have agreed that democracy, the form of government the country is currently practicing, is the best and should be sustained.
We are better than when we started in '99. It's work in progress. A lot of things are happening. You see also the national, we are tinkering with the constitution.
We still appreciate what we have compared to other nations and what we see. We go out for protests, we demand, and in some cases you see our government coming to address such situations.
We've had so much in these 26 years than we've had in between 1966 and 1999. If you put it in proper perspective, have we made progress? Yes, we've made progress.
Despite the gains recorded over the 26 years, there are still demands from the federal, states, and local governments, as well as the citizens.
We want to see a situation where the votes of the people really matter and count. So everything that will make the electoral process as smooth and hitch-free as possible should be done.
Areas such as insecurity, there are areas such as unemployment that the government still needs to work on. There are areas such as infrastructure that we still need more work.
We want stronger institutions. The institutions are not strong enough.
For many Nigerians, whether it is democracy or uninterrupted civilian rule, the past 26 years have been more beneficial, as it has afforded them the opportunity of taking part in the governance process through elections, with their full rights guaranteed as enshrined in the Constitution. In Uyo, Dianime Uko, NTA News.
There'll be more news after the break. Stay with us.
Welcome to Prisma International Hotels, located at number 5 Efangosanga Street, Afaga Fort, over Back Road, Uyu. When it comes to hospitality industry, nothing compares with comfort, exquisite services, and top-of-the-world security. These are what make Prisma Hotels a household name. At Prisma Hotels, you are assured of lavishly furnished, spacious rooms and suites with complimentary breakfast, top-class Blue Sea swimming pool, VIP and poolside bars, as well as restaurant where African and continental dishes are served at pocket-friendly rates. These are not all. There is high-speed internet service, closed circuit television, spacious car park, 24-hour power and water supply, sparkle laundry and dry cleaning services, and above all, combat-ready security operatives. So whenever you are in Uyo or you are a resident in Uyo, capital city of Akwa Ibom State, make Prisma Hotels number 5 Efangosanga Street, Tafaga Fort, over Back Road, Uyo, your choice, and you will cherish the experience. For bookings and inquiries, please call 081-3166-6660 or 0915-509-9989. Prisma International Hotels, hospitality par excellence.
Thank you for still staying tuned. You're watching Newscope and NTA Channel 12 U. Reactions have continued to trail the June 12 presidential speech to Nigerians, as many say it is commendable, while others disagree. John Paul Alumuna, who sampled the opinions of some Nigerians, came back with this report.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on June 12, 2025, addressed Nigerians, highlighting some critical issues that affect the country and also revealing the journey so far in his administration. The president also conferred national honors on the presiding officers of the National Assembly and posthumous awards to some distinguished deceased Nigerians, including King Sarowa. These Nigerians say have great impact on the healing process and sustenance of democracy.
I wasn't really pleased because I had expected Mr. President to want to consolidate on the gains of June 12, which opened the eyes of the country to the fact that there could be injustice where leaders want to suppress over the years. Critical national questions is supposed to have addressed has to do with electoral reforms. You cannot strengthen the practice of democracy where we still have in our law books, or we don't have in our law books, that a governor or president cannot defect. If you defect, there's a consequence.
The judiciary, the court of law, is no longer the whole of the common man. Now his speech has nothing to do with development, job creation. Now giving post-mortem honors to Ken Sarowa of what benefit is it to us? Especially to hear that in 2 years, I've created 1 million jobs. These people are working here. In 2 years, I've created 2,000 industries. These people are working there. In 2 years, we are looking at electricity. Till now, we don't have electricity in Nigeria.
We need to involve in more awareness, more employment. Let it not be that until you have somebody that have somebody, that is when you will be employed. There are people that are qualified for this job, but they are not getting the job because they don't have anybody. A 26-year-old child is grown up to marry and grown up to stand on his or her own.
Others charge the president to do more on education and address other critical issues affecting the common man like poverty, unemployment and insecurity, as well as food crisis.
If we can look back and look at the plight of Nigerian workers, and address the welfare of Nigerian workers, he will have done a lot, in trying to bridge the gap. Because now there's a very wide gap between very tiny people, who control larger volume of the resources, compared to very large number of people struggling with very tiny proportion of the resources available to Nigeria. So that it should be the responsibility of government to be concerned about the welfare of Nigerians. And the take-home pay of Nigerian workers is fundamental.
Nigerians are hopeful that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led federal government will implement policies that will lift many Nigerians out of poverty. In Uyo, John Paul Alumona, NTA News.
All right, away from June 12 and Democracy Day, have you ever wondered about a world without different cultural practices? As we provide answers There is a need to ponder on the popular saying that variety, which is the spice of life, is probably the driving force behind this well-packaged art and culture summit for children in the state. Utibachibon captured the event and now reports.
The summit brought together children from public and private schools, educators, cultural advocates and artists to explore the rich diversity of indigenous arts, dance and traditional games.
This platform will help us to select, it will help us to select the children. It will help us to also groom them, and make them ready for national and international competitions in arts and culture.
For other dignitaries, including the head of service Akwa Ibom State and Commissioner for Culture and Tourism, the summit is to rekindle and sustain the cultural heritage of the state and to expose Akwa Ibom children to the practices of their forebears.
This council has made every effort to contribute effectively to art and culture in Akwa Ibom State.
And the council is doing is in line with the vision of the Alliance agenda of the government, which the Ministry of Culture and Tourism is promoting.
Introduced in the council since he came on board, which have rejigged, repositioned, and ultimately breathed fresh air into this once dormant government department.
I'll be able to impart knowledge of what you have found here, what you've been able to do here, what you have seen your colleagues do here when you get back to your different schools.
With the theme, For Every Child, Culture, My Motivation, My Voice, keynote speaker Mr. Sunday Umana insists that the summit is a powerful platform to help the children connect with their roots while developing their creative talents.
To invest time and other resources is in the child. So what you give to the child today is what he or she will manifest many years after you must have made the talent day.
It was then time for cultural displays. Highlights of the event include a variety of traditional performances and games. According to some staff of the council, the leadership of Mr. Wana Joshua has brought life back to the council.
Children Arts and Culture Summit has never been like this before. But thank God for Dr. Wana Joshua that has taken this very establishment to the global view.
They all agree that the Children's Arts and Culture Summit continues to be a beacon of hope for promoting cultural pride. In Uyo, Utebe Achibon, NTA News.
Beautiful events there. It is important that our children from early stage are being taught about the cultures and traditions. Therein lies its preservation. Are you in the category of persons who eat their meats and other proteins only after finishing their food? Have you also wondered why others eat proteins in their meals when they are done with food? What could be the reason for these habits? Diani Melko in this report tries to find out reasons for the trend, which spans for centuries across cultures.
Proteins are essential nutrients for the human body. They contain biological compounds such as enzymes, hormones, and antibodies needed for the effective functionality of the body. It therefore becomes necessary to have proteins like fish, meat, eggs, milk, among others, as integral part of our daily meals, with some persons forming habits around them. One of the eating habits is leaving the protein to be eaten last after finishing the food, a practice that many Nigerians confess to. What are their reasons for keeping their proteins to be eaten last after their meals?
Eating meat last in the soup sustain continuity in the meal.
My parents normally use the method of that we need to eat our meat last, meaning that he would share the meat according to our age group. Then each of us, after eating the meat and the food, will now pick the meat according to our age.
I leave my meat till the end of till when I'm done eating my eba.
I will be eating the meat and also consuming the food at the same time. So it depends on the quantity of protein.
I eat my protein last. That's because I was brought up that way.
Parents also speak on their roles in encouraging these eating habits.
Back then, as a growing child, my mom used to insist that before you can actually take your protein, that you must finish your meal. So that has become part of us, and unconsciously, it has grown into the extent whereby I've even passed to my children.
I've tried my best to train them the way my father trained me on that aspect. But my dear, my children, immediately they see meat, they will eat that meat first. And after eating the meat, they will go back to eat the meal. So when I noticed that at times for those toddler, I will first of all put food without meat, and after finishing their meal, I will now give them the meat.
When you are eating with the elder, respect the elder, wait until the elder asks you to either take the protein or don't take the protein.
Are there any cultural or traditional explanation to this habit?
As a young child growing up in the eastern part of the country, you have a way of a child will not go for the meat or fish, as the case may be, when he or she's eating with adults. You wait for them, and then definitely they will eat and take your own meat and leave the rest for you and all that.
It teaches a few things in Yoruba culture. For example, one, it teaches respect. That's something that the Yoruba culture places very high esteem. The fact that when you're eating with elders, you have to wait until it's your turn. It teaches patience, knowing that you have to go through the process before you earn the reward, which is the protein. And then it also teaches the fact that there is some form of order where you're eating with your elder ones and they have to pick the piece of protein first before, if you're the last, for example, before you...
The Islamic belief is that the Prophet ﷺ taught us how to eat. You eat your front, you don't put your hands in the middle, and then you ensure you finish the food and lick the plate. And when you have licked the plate, then you can eat the meat.
What are the nutritional benefits of eating proteins last after a meal?
While portion control tells you the quantity of food to eat, the meal planning tells you what to eat. Then meal sequencing tells you the type of class of food to eat at a particular time. So for folks that want to stay healthy, want to stay better, or you are trying to fight diabetes condition, so this is always advisable. Take your protein and fiber first. It will increase your fullness too, and also reduce overeating, which also leads to reducing weight gain.
Whether your reason for keeping the meat until after eating the food is saving the best for the last in order to enhance your overall dining experience, experts have recommended eating meat last after other foods for digestive reasons. The reason for this is because Meat, especially red meat, is more difficult to digest than lighter foods like fruits, vegetables, and grains. Research shows that starting with these lighter options help the digestive system gradually get into gear before tackling the heavier, more complex proteins in order to ensure better digestion, reduce bloating, and improve overall comfort.
Saving my protein for the last has always been one habit that I learned from childhood and have grown up with it. The reason is simple. It helps sustain my meal so I can finish my food. And that's it for me. Why do you keep your meats for the last? Inuyo, Dianime Uko, NTA News.
Thank you, Dianime. Growing up, we did almost the same thing. But now it really doesn't matter. I mean, you can eat it at any time. It's your meat if you like. But if you have picky children, picky eaters, the meat serves as some kind of motivation for them to finish their food, and then they can take their protein at the end of the day. But what we know as culture now has a scientific backing. Like the reporter said, research has shown that it is better to eat the much lighter food before you take your proteins, you take your meat and your fish and chicken and whatever it is that you are eating. All right, on that beautiful note, Jeremy has set the tone for us to go home and eat food. On that beautiful note, we bring Newscope to an end this Sunday evening. Thank you for being a part of it. Do join us again, same time, same station next week. God willing. From all of us here, do have a wonderful week ahead and happy Father's Day.